fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm super pumped to talk to you about the Midland MXT575. This is the new flagship radio that Midland offers in the GMRS category. GMRS is becoming incredibly popular everywhere from radio enthusiasts to people off-road on the trails to maybe just trying to find something that's compatible with your walkie-talkies from Walmart. GMRS is a fun option. The license is cheap to use it. It doesn't require an exam. All you have to do is pay the 35 bucks that's good for 10 years. So the reason I'm so excited today is because we set up a collaboration among Midland, Ford Tremor Forum over at fordtremor.com, and this channel. So I reached out to Midland and I said, hey, I want to put together a package with the perfect GMRS accessories and radio so that you can get an install done easily on a Super Duty. So every month on the forum, we bring you a group buy discount where anyone who's a member on the forum, which is free by the way, can sign up and get a great discount on awesome products like this. We've partnered with some major brands before and gotten awesome discounts on fantastic products for your truck. When I pitched this idea to Midland, I said I want to buy my kit first and make sure that everything we need to install it is accounted for and that there's not anything extra to add. And they said, cool, no problem. What's your address? We'll send you a kit so you can put together the video and help everybody out. They're a company that supports the community. Thank you, Midland, for sending me this radio to put on my truck. That was super cool of you to do. So why the 575? 50 watts is the maximum power allowed by FCC law that you can use on a GMRS radio. The cool feature too that it has a USB-C port on the front of it, I guess right here. So you can actually plug in a device that requires up to a 36 watt power draw. So you could charge like a laptop off of this. So depending on where you put the base unit, that's actually a pretty cool feature to give you another high-speed USB-C port. It has your standard 15 GMRS channels along with 8 repeater channels, and something that I think is pretty awesome. My wife is constantly telling my family that we're obsessed with weather, but we kind of are. It has a WX button right here on the front, which stands for the weather channel. So you can actually push that and it'll immediately flip over to the NOAA weather radio station that you're tuned to for your area. And of course, it'll scan for them to find the correct one for whatever location you're in. So GMRS requires a license, but no test. So unlike ham, you don't have to go sit through a course, learn something, and pass an exam. You simply go to the FCC website, create an account, purchase a license. I think it's like 35 bucks, good for 10 years. And that license covers you and anyone in your immediate family that's operating radios in your vicinities. You don't have to buy a specific GMRS handheld radio. This also works with what's called FRS, which are your standard walkie-talkies that you could get at Academy or Walmart or any other sporting goods store across the country. So whether you're off-roading, RVing, or just trying to communicate with the people around you, I think this is a fantastic option. I've actually already installed this radio. So the radio box itself comes with the radio, a microphone with a short microphone cable attached to it, an antenna, and antenna wire, and a base plate. This is meant to be placed somewhere on the vehicle where you could attach a magnet. However, magnets don't stick to aluminum, and your F-Series truck body is made out of aluminum. So you're going to get this radio, you're going to get those pieces so you could use them if you want. However, we also added a ghost antenna to the package along with a universal trunk mount or hood mount. You can take the universal mount and you can slide it around the side of your hood in multiple locations, so that universal mount actually comes with an antenna cable already attached to it. So you don't need to use the one that comes with the radio box. You'll just use the one that comes with the mount. So the other thing that we added to the package is a microphone extension cable. Since I wanted to mount the handheld unit over on the driver's side, I wanted a microphone extension cable to plug into this so that it could easily reach the base unit in my glove compartment. Now, there's a few other accessories that I recommend to make the install easy, clean, or more professional looking. So let's run through what I have on the table real quick, and then we'll go out to the truck and I'll show you exactly where I connected wires, how I routed wires, how I got them into the cab of the truck. This is by far the easiest upgrade. I finished this project in like half a day. Never do any project ever without safety goggles. These are so important, so important. If you're going to be crawling under the truck, routing wires, use safety goggles every time, all the time. Oh, so there's one more thing that comes in the box that I totally forgot to mention, and that is the power cable. There is a power harness that comes in the box. So if you are putting the radio inside your glove compartment like I did, I realized there is a grommet in the floorboard of the truck right under the glove compartment that's so easy to get to, and I'll show you how to do that. But basically you cut a small hole in that, slide your power harness through it, run it down the frame of the truck and up into the engine bay, and so it's easy to connect to the battery. Connect the positive to the positive terminal on the battery, and then connect the negative to a ground on the frame of the vehicle. And I'll show you the ground that I chose to use that's right next to the battery. I ran it through corrugated split wire loom. I'll link to all this stuff so you can get it off Amazon. But this is 1/4-inch tubing. The factory power wire fits in here. This little yellow thing is such a cool contraption that I found on Amazon. And what this does is it allows you to very easily run your wires into this loom. You place this around your wire, squeeze it, and you slide it. I mean, this is so easy. You just go and the wire's done. Oh, I mean, you don't have to have that. It's not essential, but I definitely recommend it. I like to wrap, the ends or periodic places along the loom with electrical tape to make sure it stays nice and bundled. It seems like Tesa tape is a little bit higher quality. It's got almost like a cloth finish to it. It adheres very well to itself and seems to ooze less stickiness over time than electrical tape does. Once you've got the power cable down the frame, under the grommet, and you want to go through the grommet up into the cab, you'll need two things. You obviously need a blade so that you can slice your way through the grommet. The grommet is so easy to pop out. I recommend actually just pushing from the bottom of the truck up into the cab. So what I did is I just punctured it one direction and then turned my blade 90 degrees and punctured it the other direction, creating an X shape. Pull the wires through it and then slide the grommet down and snap it back into place where it came out. The end of the power harness that comes from Midland has a plastic connector on it. That plastic connector is large and you'll have to cut a bigger hole in the grommet to get that through. I didn't want to do that, so I took the plastic connector off. That's where this tool comes in handy. You don't have to have something special like this. You could use a flat blade screwdriver or anything else that's super flat. The way those connectors work, there's two pins on the inside that have a tiny little lever on the side of them, a little metal like clasp, if you will. So if you reach in with your tool and you push that little clasp down, then the pin will slide out. So there's just one clasp per pin. You push it down, slide it out. The plastic piece comes off the metal pins. That way you don't have to push the plastic part through. You've got just two small pins that you can push through. Zip ties. I like to use these TR industrial multi-purpose cables. They're rated to be used outdoors. Colored electrical tape. Put a little strip of red around the end of the power cable that goes to the battery. That way if I'm ever disconnecting it or moving it and I'm setting cables around, I don't accidentally pick up the wrong one and attach it to the wrong terminal on the battery in the future. This is a Klein Tools fish tape. So this is useful for running cable anywhere where you need something that's semi-rigid but skinny so that you can push something like a power wire that's not rigid at all somewhere you want it. I use this to kind of guide the power wire both down from where the battery is, like above the wheel well, down where I want it to come out by the frame. I also use this to get the microphone cable fished behind the center console in the Tremor over from the passenger side over to the driver's side. You can use any flashlight for your project. I happen to like this one I picked up on Amazon. It has a magnetic charging base with a USB plug on it, which I think is just super cool. Flashlight's great, and it is useful when you're trying to route your microphone cable behind the console just to see where you're going. So let's go out and look at the truck, and I'll show you exactly where I routed cables, how I made it work, and show you just how easy it is for you to get the GMRS radio from Midland, the model MXT575, installed on your Super Duty. Let's go. All right, so we're out at the truck, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to install my MXT575 radio with the external ghost antenna from Midland. You can see here I've got the Midland logo facing out just for fun. So here's what the truck looks like from the front. The antenna is very low profile. So I've got the antenna mounted to the passenger side of the truck, and you could probably put it, you could probably even put it out here if you wanted. This universal mount is just a lip that can kind of go anywhere. Okay, so here's what the antenna looks like where it's mounted on the passenger side. There's the underneath side with a couple screws holding it on. And then the cable just goes nicely down. I route it right between here when I close the hood. So the antenna cable comes down and goes through that hole right there down above the wheel well liner, and I'll show you where I pulled it out. And I have the antenna wire going into some split loom right here to protect it as I route it down through the vehicle. I also have the power cable right here. Here's the positive side of the power wire from Midland, and I have the negative side coming up over here and attaching to the factory ground. So the gold ring terminal is the negative wire for the Midland radio. So I've got 2 1/4-inch tubes, one running the power cable down, one running the antenna down, and they both run together, zip tied next to each other. Through the hole here, there's kind of like a fuse box right here, and so I've got them running on the side of the box. There's a little, if you reach your hand down in here, there's a little gap in there where you can run the wires through, drop them down above the wheel well liner. So you can't see it here, but if you push them down, they would basically pop out like right here, and then you can pull them around to the side and up around the frame and route them through up there. Then what I'll show you is under here, you can almost see the light right there. So you can run your wires down from up top by the battery, and then they can come down here. This is actually my big power wire going back to my power distribution block for the compressor. But the little wire up there and the little wire next to it, those actually go over this plate underneath the bottom of the cab. I have it routed right through this. So the wires come from up here, they go through a hole that's like right up here, they come out right here, and then one I've got zip tied along here. This is the antenna because I had extra antennas, so I zip tied it cleanly. The power wire was barely long enough to do what I wanted to do with it, so it just goes straight across and up into the cab. So that's the grommet I was talking about. So if you have the Tremor running boards like I do, right where they're mounted to the frame, if you look up under there, that's where the grommet is. Let me show you how the rest of this works. So as you can see, there's no wires, nothing visible or exposed over here. And in order to get to that grommet, you have to pull up this door sill plate. All you have to do to remove this is to grab right here and start pulling up a little bit, and then pop it up all the way through. There's just a couple clips through here. You don't need any tools, just use your hand and then work both sides. If I didn't have the camera, I'd show you. So just put one hand here, start pulling up, one hand on the other side, and just pop it up all the way through. You have to flex it a little bit and you'll feel it pop. So once you pull this plate up, you'll be able to see the edge of the carpet, and nothing's holding it down. You can just lift up the edge of the carpet and see the grommet about right here. So you can reach up under there and feel the grommet. If you push up from the bottom side, you can push the grommet out and actually just pull it out from under the carpet, cut your holes in it, run your wires through it, and then reach back under the carpet and push it back down in until it's seated firmly back in that hole. So at this point, I've got an antenna wire and power wires. So they run right in here. And what I did was, to make this install easier, I removed this plate as well. And so once this piece is up, you can remove this piece, and you pull up on the bottom right here, same as this, it just pops up a couple clips. And then up here, there's some more clips. And there's a plastic piece right here that you need to be careful of. Don't pull sideways because you'll break off the plastic piece. Just kind of pull it out, rotate this part up, and then pull this away from the back. And just go slow, be careful, and you'll be fine taking it off. And then under here, you've got, of course, your fuse box door. So that little lip right there, you can grab that, pull out, and that thing comes off. When your wires come out from under the carpet, you can zip tie or route them up right here, pop them out over the top of this little plastic here, and then run them up behind your glove box. I ended up putting my radio in the glove box. I'll show you that right here. So these are the antenna and power wires that go over the back of the glove box right here, and then come through behind this panel through the floor. In order to work under here, it's probably easier if you take off this, which there's another tool I didn't show you, which is the tool to remove these little push pins. And what I like to do, there's one right here, and then there's another one right over here. And so I use my tool to remove this one first, that one second. You can just pry them out with a screwdriver, and then this whole piece pops down and makes it a lot easier to just work under here and then reach back up under the glove box. And then you can snap this back up when you're done. I found, and this was actually my wife's idea, to stick the radio in here upside down. This is actually the mounting plate that you could use to attach the radio to something. When you put the radio in upside down, it fits perfectly in this glove box and doesn't rattle or shake. It's like it was made to go right here. And then you can still use the USB-C port that's over here. And then the microphone cable attaches right here and goes up over the glove compartment back as well. And it drops down. You can't see it because of this, but the microphone cable drops down behind the glove compartment and goes through a hole that's like right there between this vent and some component that's back here. The microphone cable goes through there, and I used the fish tape to push my microphone cable behind the center console and out to the driver's side, and I'll show you why. So here we are on the driver's side. That microphone cable that I told you about, when I pushed it through behind the console, pops out somewhere back here, and then I took it and routed it over this vent through here, and then behind this piece through here, and this gap looks small, and I'll explain what I did. It goes through this gap and out right here. There's a little hole right inside here. So if you remove this 7mm bolt here, this whole plastic trim kind of flexes a little bit. It flexed enough that I was able to route the microphone extension cable through this little gap, and it's a flat cable, so it sits flat nicely inside here, then pops out right there where I was able to attach it to the main microphone cable. There's the plug. And the microphone itself is mounted with a Midland provided sticky mount. Since it's wired directly to the battery,
Central Texas for today and tonight. Above average temperatures.
it turns on and off without having to have the truck running or have any upfitter switches switched on or off.
100. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear. Lows in the mid.
You chase to be ruthless.